الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم ولا فهم لنا إلا ما فهمتنا إنك أنت الجواد الكريم. So, dear brothers and sisters, we're talking about Ruqya. Ruqya is treating Sihr, Jinn and Ayn problems with Quran and Sunnah of Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. So this issue is very important for two reasons. First, many people are stuck in their lives and suffering for years, not finding any solution. And secondly, many of these people, they fall into shirk when trying to get solution for themselves. And many people are using Islam as a cover to make shirk. They could be good, well-intentioned or badly intentioned. So this is why we need absolutely an Islamic solution to this problem. So I'm going to show you as much as possible how to deal with these problems, what to do about it. So I'll just say a little word on risks. If you are learning Ruqya, there's no risk. If you are treating yourself or your family, there are no risks. The risks will start when you treat foreigners, when you treat other people. So if you treat other people, jinns of the other people will attack you, and also the people who made sihr on the other people will not appreciate that you're breaking their work, and they will also attack you. And the more you treat people, the more people will attack you. So there are solutions to that, and there's a way of handling it. But I won't talk about it today because it takes a whole course, and I'll leave it for those who want to learn more about Ruqya. And so if you want to learn more and get really more into it, you can come to our center. So you know we have opened the center 2 months now in East Ham. So it's open all the time, any day. And it's permanent. I'm there until Sunday, inshallah, then I'll leave, but my team is permanently there. And we need people, local people, to learn and to practice Ruqya, to be ready to confront the public, to confront the whole problem. So we need people to come and learn and practice and work there. We also need patience. So we need that center to be going on. What am I saying? So you can learn there. So if you go there, you'll get briefed on what are the risks and how to protect yourself from those risks. But anyway, the courses I have given Saturday and Sunday, they will all be on YouTube, so you'll get all those courses and this one too, inshallah. So this is as for risks. So let's imagine that you're learning to treat yourself or to treat some close parents, or just learning before you start confronting to the public. So we treat 3 things that are Sihr, Jinn and Ayn. So I'll put you briefly who I am, so it just gives you an idea. We treat should someone stay behind this camera to follow me? One of you can do that? We treat 3 things. Sihr, Jinn and Ayn. I think I don't need to explain what these things are. It's clear. And these things, they show up 3 or 4 symptoms. First one is blockages in life. It means your life is blocked. You can't work, you can't keep your money, you can't get married, you can't have children, you can't study, you can't pass examination. Whatever you're trying to do is not working. Always, when people promise to help you, they won't help you. So you're blocked. Whatever you're trying to do is not working. second symptom is unusual. I'm going to sing this show. Second is unusual health problems. So you have pains, you have illness, funny diseases, you go to doctors, they don't understand, you make analysis, you don't find anything, and you take medicine and it's not going. So it's something abnormal. 3, unusual mental states. You get angry too much, you get depressed, you get fear, anxiety, you can't focus on something, you can't learn, forgetting everything, and you can be hearing things, seeing things, can go all the way to madness. And 4th symptom is nightmares. Having bad dreams. So whatever is done in sihr or jinns, it would appear in your dreams. It is natural that it comes in your dreams. That's how it is. For example, they do sihr in graveyard. For example, they do sihr in graveyard to block your life, and that will make you become like a dead person. So you're tired, you don't want to do anything, just want to lie down. Even if you sleep, when you wake up, you're always tired, and then you're depressed, you don't have pleasure or taste in anything in life. So, and also you'll be thinking about death, maybe thinking about suicide, and you'll be dreaming about dead people. Either dead people, you see them alive, or live people, you see them dead, or you see yourself dead, or you see graves, or you see funerals. By any means, you see things related to death. For example, when they put sihr in water, so that's so that your life will go wasted like water, like river going into the sea, or you can't construct anything in your life as if you're building something in the water. So whatever you try to build, the water is removing it. Or to make your money gets wasted. So when you get money, it's like you're getting water. If you take water in your hands, by the time you raise your hands, there's nothing left inside. So this is how your money is getting wasted. So you'll be seeing water in your dreams. So you see rivers, or walking by rivers, or crossing rivers, or raining on you, or you see yourself swimming, or getting drowned, or living under the water, or a tsunami. So by any means you're going to be dreaming on water. Well, this is how it happens, because they take your photo, they do that thing, they throw it in the water. So it's like if spiritually you're in the water. So you'll be dreaming yourself in the water. Same thing if it is with the dead people. And when they put sihr in a high place, so they put it in a high place for 2 reasons. That will take your mind over reality. So you're going to spend your time thinking, wondering, maybe fearing things, or imagining things, or changing mind, and you can't focus on something pragmatic, constructive, and that will also envelop you in your life, so that you go round and round in your life. You're trying to achieve things, but you always come back to a starting point, and so you're going round and round. And you'll be dreaming of yourself going up, or flying, or falling, or sometimes just when you're about to sleep, you feel you fall down. So that's how it comes in your dream, or you're in an airplane, or you're in a high place, you're afraid to fall down, so you're going to dream about height. So this is how it works. I mean, because they did that thing on you, they put it somewhere, and it is working on you like that, and you see that's what's happening. Okay? For example, if they put the sihr in toilet, so you'll be seeing toilets, or seeing yourself doing your waste in toilets. But anyway, for example, when I was in Ivory Coast, so for the first time we had many patients that see fish in dreams, and some see fresh fish, some see dead fish, rotten fish, some see fried fish, some see dried fish, and we were wondering what is this about. And then we understood that we were told that Sihr have a technique in Sihr, that they put the sihr on a hook, and they put the hook in water, and they wait for a fish to come and take it. Then they release the fish in the water. Now the fish has gone with your sihr. So according to what happened to that fish, so people dream of different kinds of fish. If the fish is in the water, so you see the fish in water. If the fish got rotten, so you see your fish rotten. If it is fried, you see it fried. If it is dry, you see it dry, depending to what happened on your fish. And when I went to Reunion Island, so people were dreaming about sharks. So now your fish has been eaten by a shark, and you see sharks in your dream. So of course, Sihr do that to make it more difficult, impossible, hardly impossible to find. How can you find that fish? Even if he told you this is where I did it and the fish has gone that way, so there's no way you can find him again, unless maybe you use jinns or whatever, you're going to use a special thing. So, just a word on these 4 symptoms, they are very important. Because when you read many books on Ruqya, you find loads of symptoms like your hand shaking, like you feel things, like you feel cold, you feel hot, and all those symptoms are not sure. It's all a matter of experience. But these 4 symptoms really, when I say that in any place, many people think I'm talking about them. Many people, even now in London, when I spoke to the mosque, one guy told me, it's all my life you're talking about. That's what's happening to me. And many people feel that. So it is very close to reality. And also, these 4 symptoms are mentioned in Quran. If you are people who need the lead of Quran, so these 4 are mentioned in Quran, and that gives them a great power compared to other symptoms that are just pure experience. Okay? Wow. Blockages in life is nafathati fil uqad, the knots. That means they tie your life by sihr, so your life is attached and you're not getting anywhere. And unusual health problems, Allah Ta'ala says, كَالَّذِي يَتَخَبَّتُهُ الشَّيْطَانُ مِنَ الْمَسِّ, like the one who's having epilepsy by jinns, crisis by jinns. And the third one, unusual mental states, Allah Ta'ala says, مَا يُفَرِّقُونَ بِهِ بَيْنَ الْمَرْءِ وَزَوْجِهِ. They learn how to separate a man from his wife. And some time ago, I had a couple who came to me, and the woman said that she's dreaming about blood. And I said that means they made sihr with your menses blood. And when they do that to a woman that changes her blood, that means that she changes her feelings. So when your husband speaks, you can't bear it. When he touches you, it's like he's picking you, you can't bear it. And then she told me that's exactly what's happening to me. I said, that's what Allah said. They learn how to separate a husband from his wife. They were loving, they were fine, and it suddenly becomes anger, becomes hatred for no reason. And the 4th one, bad dreams. So Allah Ta'ala says, وَيُذْهِبْ عَنْكُمْ رِجْزَ الشَّيْطَانِ, and to take off you the dirt of shaitan. It was for the battle of Badr. Many Sahaba made dreams and had janaba, and that Allah Ta'ala said that is shaitan wanted to make you in janaba for the battle. So Allah sent rain to remove it. So there's the big issue of sexual dreams with jinns, especially for women. So jinns abuse of them very much. So these are the symptoms to know that you have a problem of jinn, sihr, and ayn. So how are you going to treat it? So you are going to read Fatiha, Kursi, Ikhlas, Falaq, Nas, and then Araf, 117 to 122. Yunus, 81, 82. Yes? Right, bigger? Excuse me. And then Yunus 81, 82, and Taha 68, 70. So you read Fatiha, Kursi, Ikhlas, Falaq, Nas, Araf, Yunus, Taha, all these verses. Wow, mashallah. Alhamdulillah. It was new for half a life. 11 times. Subhanallah. think it is the board that is old. 11 times. Well, here we go again. On 20-liter water plus oil plus incense. Yeah, I'm going to explain it. Let's just finish it off. Plus oil plus incense for drinking, washing, 12 days, spraying the house, yes, massaging, and not smoking, but how do you say that? No, not inhaling, no. Smoking the body, how do you say?
Steam?
No, not steam.
Fumigate.
Fumigate? How?
Fumigate.
Fumigating. That's it. Fumigating. Okay, let me explain all that to you. So, you take a bucket of 20 liters and you fill it with a water tap. And you take some oil, which is good for massaging your body with, like well, olive oil or black seed oil or any massage oil, and some incense, yerbati, any kind of incense. So you read on all these verses: Fatiha, Ayatul Kursi, Qul Huwallahu Ahad, Al-Falaq, An-Nas, Surah Al-A'raf. These verses from Surah Al-A'raf and Yunus and Taha, they are the verses of Musa alayhi salam with the sorcerers of Fir'aun, where Allah Ta'ala says that Allah destroys the Sihr by His words. So these are the verses of Quran specifically that are used to destroy Sihr. So you read it all 11 times, you put those things in front of you, read that all 11 times, then you close them all, then you're going to use it. So you're going to drink from that water, just normally, and wash, bathe with the water. So every night you take a bottle of 1.5 liters, and you're going to wash all your body with. So if you can heat it in a microwave or as you want, and then empty it on all your body. You can wash in the shower. You can take a shower before and just rinse with it. You can wash in the shower of a bathtub, but you have to put a basin to collect the water, to throw it outside in the garden, so it does not go with the waste, because if it does go with the waste, it will burn the nabak, the bad genes that are there, and they can take revenge on you, so that's not good for you. And this also shows us that there is the Quran inside, so as a respect to that Quran, you should avoid to let it go in the waste. Well, if you say Bismillah, that will not burn the genes, but it is just a question of respecting the Quran. There's nothing haram with it, because there's nothing in hadith or talking about this. So just as a respect to Quran, we will collect it to throw it outside. So you do this for 12 days, and you're going to massage your body with that oil. So after you wash with the water, you're going to massage your body with oil. So let me explain that. And also you're going to spray all the house with the water. So you put it in a sprayer and you spray all the surface, all the apparent surface, the walls, the roof, the ground, the doors, the windows. Well, especially if the bed, you can remove the mattress and do all parts of the bed, because if there's a problem in the couple, they often are in the bed. And if you have a shop or a business or vehicles or whatever that's not working because of sihr, so you're going to spray it all, so it's going to be removed, inshallah. So what you must understand about this method is that reading Quran in water, to drink, to wash, and to spray the house is much more efficient than just reading in the house. The difference between the two is as if you are hot and you're cooling yourself down with a fan, and now you're cooling yourself down with a shower. So the shower is going to cool you down much more than the fan. So this is the difference between the effect of Quran, just reading Quran, and reading Quran on the water to drink and bathe and wash your and spray your house. So it's much more efficient. So in the hadiths you get the protections by reading Quran on your hands, for example, and wiping your body. But once you are hit by jinn or sihr or ayn, protections are not enough. So now you need to get treatment. So this is why you must move on to this procedure with water. And when you read on oil to massage your body, so as long as that oil is on your body, the Quran is going to continue work on your body. So this is why do it after washing, and it is better to do it before sleeping, so that all night long the Quran is going to continue working on your body. And you should insist on the parts where you have problem. If you have pain somewhere or a skin problem anywhere, so after you wash with the water, continue washing. Take that water again and wash again, would it be your head or your legs or whatever, wherever you have the problem, wash it again and again with that water, so that will have more effect on you, and insist on it with the oil. Now after that, you're going to put a dress on you, a jalaba, and light the incense under you. So the incense not to smoke not to breathe it, just for your body. So this is the basic way of treatment. And inshallah, if you just do this, it will remove a lot of your problems. Well, let's say for example, if children cry by night, so children screaming in the night and having fears in the night, mostly come from two things or three things. It comes that ayn is made onto children. So, I mean ayn, because when there's a child, so many women say, oh, what a lovely baby, what a this and that. And many of them forget to say mashallah or something, so that will make ayn on him. And when there's ayn on the child, that allows the jinns that live in the house to annoy him and to frighten him. And jinns love to do that. It's like it's giving them some importance that they manage to frighten you. They just like to do that. So they will frighten the child in his dreams, and he will be screaming by night. So what you must do is just to wash the baby, the child, with the Quranic water and spray the house. So wash the baby to remove the ayn, and spray the house to remove the jinns from the house, and it will be all. And for this kind of problem, you don't need to see anyone. So really, any Muslim woman that's just praying can do that yourself, and there's no risks. So you can just do it yourself. What other kind of problem? For example, if you're having skin problem, like psoriasis, it is a kind of eczema that comes and stays for years on the person, and sometimes it changes places, sometimes it is itching, sometimes it is bleeding, sometimes etc. And doctors don't understand anything about it. So, and this only comes by touching sihr, by walking on it most of the time, and sometimes you can touch it by another means, but most of the time you walk on it, and it will come mostly in the legs, in the head, and it can come any place of the body, and sometimes it covers all of the body. So that thing, you're going to treat it with the water and oil. Continue washing with the Quranic water and bathing with the oil all the time. So as I'm saying this, you can also read Quran on nearly anything. That means, for example, if in your house you are having a lot of problems, so you can read Quran on all the products you use to wash your house, and bleach and whatever you use to wash your house, you can read Quran on all of that. So when you will be washing your house, it will be working, it will be cleaning also jinns and sorcery from the house. You can also read Quran on all the water people drink in the house, and the oil for cooking, and you can read it on your on your stew when you're making cooking. So that will all help. Well, especially if there's someone who does not want to take a treatment, so you can just make ruqya on his products, on his shampoo, on his creams, on his perfumes. So that will all work on him, inshallah. Okay, so this is basic points in treatment. I think I said everything so far. So after that, now we're getting in more details of treatment. So sihr, basically sihr is words that are said. But these words, so they use knots, they use dead things, they use a lot of things to make it stronger. It's just our treatment basically is Quran. But we use water, we use oil, we use incense, we use other things, hijama cupping, etc. with the Quran to make it more powerful, to get it work. So they use other things in the sihr, and there are 4 ways to make sihr. So, yeah. Four ways to make sihr. First one is eaten. And that is treated let's try the new ones. We treat that with sana. Oh, that's fantastic. We treat it with this sana. Boil 1 tablespoon of senna leaves with half a liter of Quranic water. Ten minutes and drink on empty stomach. So eating sihr, it is drops they put in food or drink, and when you eat it, it will come in your stomach or intestines like glue. It will stick like glue. And your body will feel that there's something stranger body that is inside your body. It's going to attack it with acids in your stomach. So it's like you're itching yourself until you're hurting yourself until you're bleeding. And it's going to give you these burnings in your stomach and until it leads to an ulcer, you see. And this is medically, it has no explanation, and it makes stomach to swallow, and it makes how to say, it's hurting. I mean, it can go anywhere from the entrance to the exit. How do you say it? Lips or lips? MashaAllah. But it hurts when in the exit. How's it called? Yes. No, the problem when it's hurting and burning and cutting. Yeah, hemorrhoids. Hemorrhoids? If there's another word for it. Anyway, it could make all sorts of digestive problems. And actually, nearly all these digestive problems are due to sihr. Because any normal person, you shouldn't having any problems except if you eat too much pepper, or someone's drinking too much alcohol, or doing something like this. Otherwise, you shouldn't have any kind of problems. Maybe some elements, some things don't suit you, but having pains and all, and they are making examination, not finding anything. Well, they can find an ulcer, but not explain why this ulcer is here. So this problem, the solution is very simple and does not cost anything, almost costing nothing. Mashallah, very, very helpful. And so what you do, you should buy some senna leaves. So you get it in Chinese shops or Bangladesh shops. You can get it in Mecca if you go there. It comes also from India. So go to the shop, and also exists in chemistry, but they sell it in tablets, and tablets is not good for us. We prefer to have the proper leaves. And you do it this way. And so when you're going to take those senna leaves, it's going to empty your stomach. You, inshallah, you'll have diarrhea as you have never seen in your life. And then, if there is sihr, it's going to remove it and make you in pain, as if you have glue on your skin and you're scraping it off. So it's going to give you pain as if your skin is being taken off. And some women say they have pain like they are giving birth. Anyway, it can be very, very painful. So if it is, you understand that you have eaten sihr and sihr is being removed. So you're going to drink it again and again until it does not give you any more pain. And the day you drink it and you don't have pain, so you know that, it gives you diarrhea without pain, so you know there's no more sihr in your stomach. So this is very easy, and anyone can do it, mashallah, and it is very efficient. And when a woman has sihr, very often it will go onto her child. It will go onto the child as eaten sihr. Even for the woman, if it is in the whatever kind of sihr she might have, for the child, he has eaten that in the womb of his mother, and that can make children to be handicapped. But mostly, it makes children to have bad temper, to be disobedient, and not obey to their parents, not follow their studies, not like deen. And also, it makes them to be weak, physically weak. So if you see that kind of things with your children, and you know that maybe sihr has been made to you, so just make them take senna for 4 days, and just small doses of senna. So if you can give it to a woman that is pregnant or giving milk feeding, breastfeeding her children, that will be fine, because the child will be treated through the mother. And otherwise, we will have to give the senna to the child. And that, alhamdulillah, that will remove that sihr, so he will come back to normal, inshallah. Okay, so this is the first way of making sihr. The second way, so where was I? One is eaten, second is put in the body. And we remove that by cupping hijama. So how do they put it in the body? They send the jinn who puts the sihr in the body. And that causes pains in the body, and also dysfunctioning. So that something will not be functioning. So for example, you can't understand anymore at school, nothing's coming into your head, or whatever you understand, you're forgetting everything. Or it will stop a woman from having children, any kind of pain or dysfunctioning. So we remove it by cupping, and Rasulullah said that hijama is shifa min arba'ina da, is a remedy for 40 diseases. In another hadith he says, ilajun min as-sihr, it is a remedy for sihr. So how to remove the sihr by hijama, by cupping? You must put the cupping in the place where you have the problem, and then read the ruqya on the patient. So that's how to do it. So if the problem is on the head, we put it on the head. If the problem is in the ovaries, we put it in the ovaries. Anywhere the person has pain, we're going to put the hijama and read the Quran on the person. So the Quran will burn the jinn and the sihr, and the hijama will remove it. So it is very, very efficient. For example, just to give you an idea, if you are fighting a jinn, it's like you are fighting, it's like, for example, you're fighting, how do you call it? La ilaha illallah. MashaAllah, maybe I'm tired. MashaAllah, may Allah Ta'ala help us and give us knowledge and help. So it's like you're fighting, how do you say this, transparent guys? Ghost, yes, that's it. It's like you're fighting ghost. So that ghost, if you punch him or hit him or stab him with a knife or with a pistol, it will not do anything to him. But if you have a hoover that can swallow him up. So that's where you got him. You see? So this is how hijama acts on jinn. It will just swallow them up, and they cannot resist it. They cannot resist it. And it is much better than hitting the patient, boom, 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 boom. Because when you hit the patient, you can hit the jinn, but you also hit the patient. And it can harm the patient, and maybe you don't hit the jinn because the jinn's going to run away and have a good laugh of you until you finish, then he comes back into the patient. So anyway, it's not good to hit the people, but it's better to make hijama. So the hijama is harmless and very much efficient on jinns and sihr. So there is, I don't have the material to show you how to do hijama, but as I have told you, we have our permanent center, and it's open for treatment and also for training for men and women at any time, inshallah. So you can come, and we're going to show you how to make hijama. So hijama for sihr and jinn is a bit different than other hijama. In what is it different? It is different that we're not trying to solve a disease inside the body. We're trying to remove sihr and jinn. So we do very, very slight cuts, very little cuts, and we don't need to take a lot of blood. It's just that the cuts and the blood coming out is an exit for jinns and sihr. And so that is the difference. Another difference is that we can do it in any time. I mean, for blood issues, there's some days that are better than others, but for jinn and sihr it's all the same. So any time, any day of the month, of the week, you can do it. It will have, inshallah, the same effect on jinns and sihr. So if you go to hijama centers where they do not make ruqya, so and you think you have a jinn or sihr related problem, so ask them to do the hijama in the places you feel something is wrong, and to keep it for 20 minutes, and by that time listen to ruqya and read yourself what you can of Quran. So that will have the effect of removing, inshallah, sihr and jinn from you. Otherwise, you can just come to our center, we'll treat you, but I'm just telling you that if you do it that way, it will help remove sihr and jinn from you. Okay? I think that's all for hijab. And the third way of making sihr is symbolic. Symbolic, that means they take your hair, they take your photo, they take your clothes, and they make knots, and they put locks, and they slaughter animals that they put in graveyard, in a well, etc., etc., etc. So how to remove this sihr? So I'm going to make it short because it's a big problem for us is how to remove it. But the method we have reached to is to remove it with verses of Quran. For example, take the sihr of the grave. So we use the verse أَوَمَنْ كَانَ مَيِّتًا فَأَحْيَيْنَاهُ وَجَعَلْنَا لَهُ نُورًا يَمْشِي بِهِ فِي النَّاسِ كَمَا مَثَلُهُ فِي الظُّلُمَاتِ لَيْسَ بِخَارِجٍ مِنْهَا. Is the one who was dead and we brought him back to life and we gave him a light to walk with amongst people, is he equal to the one who is in darkness not coming out of it? And we're going to add this verse in the water for drinking and washing. We will add it either by reading it 11 times or by writing it once and diluting it in the water. So, and the person is going to wash with that, and that sihr in the grave is going to go away, and that's it. You don't need to go to graveyard and to look for that grave and to dig it out. MashaAllah, big problem. Just using the verse. And if it is in the water, you take the verse فَأَوْحَيْنَا إِلَى مُوسَى نَضْرِبْ بِعَصَاكَ الْبَحْرَ فَانْفَلَقَ, and we revealed to Musa to hit the sea with your stick, and it's split into two parts, etc. For example, for the sihr of fish that I told you about, we take the verse فَالْتَقَمَهُ الْحُوتُ وَهُوَ مُلِيمٌ فَلَوْلَا أَنَّهُ كَانَ مِنَ الْمُسَبِّحِينَ لَلَبِثَ فِي بَطْنِهِ إِلَى يَوْمِ يُبْعَثُونَ. So the fish swallowed him, and if it was not the tasbih he did, he would have stayed in his stomach until the day of judgment. You see? So we add this verse in there, and the person just washes with it, and alhamdulillah it goes. Don't need to go look for the fish, etc., etc. So we have 45 verses for 45 types of sihr. Okay? There are 45 different verses for 45 different types of sihr and the way to recognize them. how to know there's this sihr or that sihr or that sihr. So we're going to give you that in papers. It's going to be photocopied and given to everybody. The 45 verses and the way of recognizing all that. MashaAllah. So in a practical way, how is it going to be? In a practical way, well, so if you want to treat someone, so you ask for all his problems and all the places he has pains, you're going to do hijama. No difference. You don't have to be sure it is jinn or sihr. And jinn or sihr makes no difference. Just make hijama. Even if it is natural pains, just make hijama. Just make hijama, because hijama is a remedy for 40 diseases, and natural pains can be mixed with jinn and sihr. And when someone has a problem, for example, you have had an accident on your knee and your knee is still paining you, so if a jinn comes into you, it will often go into that knee to stay there, because it will find the weakness and it will be easier for him to go there, and he will be making that pain, worsening that pain, and preventing it from healing. You see? So even if there's a natural cause to that pain, just do the hijama. And most of the time, as soon as we do hijama, all those pains finish from the person. Well, sometimes we have to do it twice or 3 times with the treatment. So alhamdulillah, it is very effective, very efficient. So just do it. And except for the stomach pains, for that you're going to give sana. You give sana to the person. So the idea is that he should drink sana until it gives him no pain. So by experience, you will try to estimate how much he needs. So give him for 4 days, for 8 days, for 12 days, for whatever he needs as your estimation. Then if the person comes back, you tell him, what did that sana give you pain? He said, yes, it gave me lots of diarrhea. Said, okay, but did it give you pain? I said, yes, it did give me pain. Well, in the end, did that pain diminish? So he said, well, only 2 first days gave me pain, then it was just diarrhea, so that's finished. You don't need to give him any more. So if the pain has been continuing until the end, so you give him more days of sana. Just try to estimate how many more days he needs, so that it won't give him any pain anymore. So I'm telling you how to do it. And then you're going to try to follow up his 45 types of sihr to see what kind of dreams he's doing, what kind of problems he's having in life and all, so that you write down the kinds of sihr you find or you think might be according to his case, and then you add all these verses to the water you're going to give him. Either you read yourself and water and give him the water to use, or you write them all on a paper with saffron. It is the best thing to use, and give him that paper, and he will put that paper in water in his house and use that for his treatment. Is that clear? Okay, so I told you there are 4 ways of making sihr, and this is the 3rd one. The 4th one is by contact. Contact, as I told you, most of the time is walked on. Most of the time you walk on the sihr. It could be accidentally, so sihr is somewhere and you pass by and walk on it. And it could be done on purpose, so they put it in front of your house or in front of your shop or in the place you used to sit on, and every day you sit on it, every day you walk on it, and it's going to give you problems in your legs, and especially it will give you skin problems. But it could be touched by any other way. For example, I had a lady, they put sihr in her lipstick. They put sihr in her lipstick and her mouth was full of cuts. It was horrible to see, mashallah. And I had a girl, they put sihr in her scarf and all her head fell off, her hair fell off, and her skin was horrible on her head. Well, it could be touched by any way, but most of the time the contact is by walking on it. Okay, so for this kind of sihr, so there's nothing more to say. We just do hijama in all the places where there's problems in the legs, where the skin is not well, and give the person water and oil to use, and also incense. That's it. Okay, so now I'm going to tell you about jinns. So basically, man is stronger than jinn, much stronger than jinn. Allah Ta'ala has preferred man on jinn because Allah says, "Inni ja'ilun fil ardi khalifa," I am putting a khalifa on earth, when jinns were already on earth. So the khalifa of Allah Ta'ala is man and not jinn. And when Allah created Adam a.s., Allah asked Iblis to make sujood to Adam, did not ask Adam to make sujood to Iblis. And all the prophets Allah Ta'ala sent are only humans. There never was a jinn prophet. So men were prophets for humans and jinns. So that means that we should not be under the jinns, under their conditions, expecting their protection and all this stuff. Don't believe their power, etc. And I'm giving you an idea of the difference between man and jinn. Man is created but from earth, from mass, from material. And jinn is created by fire. That's heat and energy, you see? And so mass is much more consistent than energy, than heat. And the difference between them, well, we can go from mass to energy, from energy to mass, as Einstein said, E equal m square c. So you can turn energy into mass, and you can turn mass into energy with this equation, and c is the speed of light. That's 300,000 kilometers per second. So when you put it to a square, that is enormous. So this is the difference between man and jinn. You see, this is how the atomic bomb works. A very small quantity of mass, you turn it into energy, so that gives an atomic bomb. So this is the difference. So this is why the jinns are living in a lower world than us. For example, when you see jinns in your dreams, for us it is a dream, for them it is reality. That is their reality. You see? What is real for them, it is dream for us. When the jinn speaks in your mind, makes you waswas, when shaitan makes waswas on you, he is speaking, but for us it is thoughts. What is speaking for them, it is thoughts for us. When we speak and read Quran, that can burn them, that can kill them, so speaking for us is action for them. So this is to show you how jinns are in a lower world, you see? And that means they're really, I mean, nothing to be scared about. Nothing to be scared about, it's really a small thing. I am going to explain to you that however a jinn would attack a man, you can always beat him, you can or even kill him. However, a jinn, whatever shape, whatever form he will take to attack you, you can always beat him. The most often jinns come in our dreams. So you see people chasing you, snakes, dogs, bulls, militaries, monsters, whatever. If in your dream you just remember to say Bismillah, Allahu Akbar, to ask Allah to help you, that will stop them, they will run away. So what must you do? You must catch him first and then read Quran, read Ayatul Kursi until he's dead. And if he's dead in the dream, he's really dead, it's finished. And how can you do that in your dream? You must prepare yourself before sleeping. So if you are used to see bad dreams, so you prepare yourself before sleeping, you make usual adhkar, ayatul kursi, read qul huwallahu ahad, falaq nas in your hands, wipe with 3 times. Then you add this verse, أَيْنَمَا تَكُونُوا يَأْتِ بِكُمُ اللَّهُ جَمِيعًا إِنَّ اللَّهَ عَلَى كُلِّ شَيْءٍ قَدِيرٌ. It is in Baqarah 148. So you say this verse and you repeat it, and you ask Allah Ta'ala to bring you this jinn in your dream and to give you the power to beat him and to kill him. And you go to sleep with the anger to catch him as if you are going to hunt him. And as soon as you see him in your dream, just catch him and read until he's dead. And it's finished. If he's dead in the dream, he's really dead, it is finished. And even if his family or whatever come to ask revenge, it will be easier to kill the other ones. So don't worry about anyone. And even if it is someone else having the jinn problem, if it is your child screaming by night, if it is your mother hearing voices that are confusing her mind, if it is your wife seeing a man sleeping with her, you can yourself make the dua before sleeping and ask Allah Ta'ala to bring you his jinns in your dreams, and you're going to catch them and kill them, and the person will be relieved. Even if it is the person that is making sihr on you, and you see him in your dreams, if you kill him or you hit him in your dreams, that will break his sihr and turn back against him. I'm going to tell you a couple of stories on that. there was a young girl, it was her step-grandmother making sihr to her, that came in her dream with a knife to stab her. So she grabbed the knife off her and stabbed her, and the old lady woke up in the morning and she was vomiting blood for 3 days, then she died. And I had another patient, he was idol worshipper, and he left idols, he did not choose to become Muslim or Christian, and he told me he saw a bull running up, chasing him, attacking him in his dream. And he ran away and he hid behind a tree, and the bull passed, and it was a head of a bull and a human body. So when he saw it like that, he tackled him with his leg and he made him fall down, and the guy fell down and his mask of bull fell down, and he saw the person making sihr to him. So he took the head of the bull and he put it on his head and started running after him. And now the other guy ran away until he went into a house, and there was a court, and he saw all the sorcerers of the village in that court. And they were telling him, did you hit him? Did you get him? They did not know that now he is running away from the other one. So you see, this guy is not even Muslim, not even believer, but the way he was attacked, he defended himself until he sent that sihr back to the people who did it. So if you are believing in Allah, reading Quran and praying, you can also do it. So if you think or if you believe anyone made sihr to you, even if you don't know who it is, so just before sleeping, ask Allah Ta'ala to bring you this person in your dream, to give you the power to beat him, and look for him in your dreams and beat him until you wake up. So we have lots of stories like that. We have lots of stories of our patients, alhamdulillah, who did that, and something terrible happened to the people doing the sihr. So I would say you that the people doing sihr, you cannot forgive them, because Allah Ta'ala la yaghfiru an yushraka bihi. Allah does not forgive shirk, and those people are working with shaitan, so they cannot be forgiven. So even if you do forgive them, Allah is going to put them in Jahannam. It's finished for them. They have lost iman. So forgive or not forgive does not change anything for them. What is good for them is that Allah should punish them in this world, and that could be a cause of them to make tawbah. That would be good for them as a lesson. And if anyone who is hit by sihr could make this dua until Allah will punish the people making it, so inshallah very fast we'll get rid of them all. Okay? So what am I saying? This is quite important, and this is the best thing we can do with the people making sihr. All the time people come to me, especially, especially Indians, they want to know who did it, and that is a big problem. I mean, even if you get jinns to say who did it, you cannot be sure about what they say. It could be right, it could be wrong. And really, I'm surprised how, subhanallah, so many people believe that, and they go to Shaykh, and Shaykh said, yes, I made istikhara, I made this, it is such person who did it, or he has jinns to tell him. So all that, Islamically speaking, is not receivable. You cannot accuse someone on basis of what jinn said, of what someone saw in istikhara and all that. So you cannot, that's not information you can use. So even if you have your own conviction, you're not allowed to say it to anyone. And plus, it can often be wrong. And plus, there's no use in doing it and making a big fuss. But what is useful is to ask Allah Ta'ala to show you the person in the dream, and you kill him in the dream, and that's going to break what he's doing. May Allah Ta'ala help us. So I was telling you, the jinns are weaker than the men. And I'm going to give you 5 situations, 5 different ways of beating the jinns. The first one is in your dreams. When they come in your dreams, this is how to beat them. Second one, many people, when they are about to sleep or they are sleeping, something comes and paralyzes them, like a heavy thing lying on them and paralyzing them. They can't move, they can't speak, and sometimes they can't breathe. So if you feel that on you, so it is jinns attacking you that way, what must you do? You must catch them first. How to catch them? When you are paralyzed yourself, you just try to close your hands. Just try to hold your hands like this, and as soon as you try it, you start reading in your mind. As your tongue is paralyzed, just leave the tongue. Don't try to cry, Daddy, Mommy, this, that. Forget it. Just read in your mind, Ayatul Kursi, Allahu la ilaha illa huwa al-Hayy al-Qayyum, until your tongue is released. and then you continue reading on loud voice, and you hold and you read until he's dead. And if he's dead, it's finished. And maybe you'll not be sure if he's dead or if he's run away, but even if he's run away, he'll not come back. And third way of beating jinns is when jinns appear in our life. So we don't see jinns as they are naturally, but sometimes they come, as for Abu Huraira radiallahu anhu, when he was keeping zakat, the shaitan came to take the zakat. Another sahabi killed a snake in his house, and it turned out to be a jinn. So if that does happen, that you see something weird and you don't know how it came here and it's frightening you, so what are you going to do? So you must know that jinns cannot appear or disappear when you are looking at them. You cannot look into an empty place and the jinn will come in front of you. You must look elsewhere, and you turn back and you see something, suddenly you don't know how he came here. And also when he is here, he cannot go when you are looking at him. So you must look elsewhere, you turn back and he has disappeared. So if you see these things strange, weird, frightening, and you think it could be jinn or something unusual, what are you going to do? Just look at him, stare at him, fix him, don't let him go. When you fix him with your eyes, so he cannot go anymore. So you caught him just by looking at him. So you fix him, then you start reading Allahu la ilaha illa huwa al-hayyul qayyum until he's dead. If it is a bad jinn coming to harm you, he will just die like that and it's finished. So you don't need to jump out the window or to make a car accident. Just stare at him and read until he's dead and it's finished with him. That was 3, yeah? First one in the dream, second one when you're paralyzed and sleeping, third one when he appears to you, and the fourth one is when people are possessed. People fall and scream, and jinns are speaking, I want to kill her, I'm married with her, I'm this and that. So what to do in that case? And they always ask me, why is it women that have that more? It is women that have it more for many reasons. First reason is that Sihr is a matter of jealousy and not a matter of interest. That means most of the time people do it to ruin someone else's life without winning anything in it, just to have pleasure ruining one's life. And it is mostly women who do that, and it is mostly done to women. So this is why it happens more to women. Secondly, sorcerers use male jinns more than female jinns. And these male jinns, they like women to abuse of her. And thirdly, women are more weak than men, in the sense that women get afraid more than men, and women cry easier than men. So that means when a jinn is in a woman's body, he can more easier take over her body than if it was a man. This is why it happens mostly to women, but it also happens to men. So if that happens, what are you going to do? You hold the person and you read Ayatul Kursi on him, and you hit his neck with your hand, just gently and not hard. Just hit her neck gently, as if your hand was a sword and you're chopping his head off. So when you do that, after a few minutes, inshallah, the jinn is going to feel his head being cut off, is going to run away, and the person is going to wake up. And when the person wakes up, now you tell him, now we're going to ask Allah Ta'ala to bring this jinn back so that we will finish with him. We're not going to let him play with us every time he comes and every time he goes. So now you read, you say, أَيْنَمَا تَكُونُ يَأْتِ بِكُمُ اللَّهُ جَمِيعًا, this Baqarah 148, until the jinn is back. And now when the jinn is back, the situation has reversed. That means it's not the jinn possessing the person anymore. Now it is the person possessing the jinn, because we have brought him by the power of Allah and by the words of Allah Ta'ala. And that means this time we're going to read Ayatul Kursi and hit his neck, and he cannot run away like the first time, because he's our prisoner now. So we're going to continue until either he becomes Muslim or he dies. And there will be no third solution. And that's how the case is going to be solved. Then after that, I'm just going to give you a word on what we do next. If you learn the ruqya, that you'll be able to do that, inshallah. So what we do next is that we're going to tell the person, now we're going to ask Allah Ta'ala to bring all the jinns where this one came from. If it is a jinn of the house, we'll get the jinns remaining in the house. If it is a jinn that Sihr has sent, we're going to get the jinns that are remaining with the Sihr. If it is a pact that the ancestors did with jinns, we're going to bring all the jinns remaining in that pact.
If it is jinns that are being worshipped in statues or in river or in forest or in mountain, we're going to ask Allah Ta'ala to bring all the jinns remaining there. So we'll read أَيْنَمَا تَكُونُوا until they all come. Then we'll discuss with them to make them become Muslim. And that's why we're going to solve the problem from its source. MashaAllah. So this is the fourth way of beating jinns if they attack you. And the fifth way is the mental way. I'm going to give you, well, maybe one example or two on that. So I'll give you one example. If someone is having, for example, too much sexual dreams, and it is not normal. For example, I had a patient today, and mashallah, he was having homosexual feelings, and well, we understood it is a jinniya that he has, and so that she is making him behave like a woman, because she's desiring men and she's making him feel that he desires men, etc. So if you feel these unusual dreams, you are having sexual dreams, so what you're going to do before sleeping, you're going to speak to that jinn. Just speak to him, say, hey, you jinn coming in my dreams, come here, I want to speak to you. So when you call him that way, that will compel them to come. He will have to come. You see, he will have to come, because this is how the jinn's world function. This is how it functions. Well, just for example, I mean, if we are speaking and someone is playing with a game, and I'll say, hey, stop playing with the game, come, just listen. You must listen to what I'm saying. So if I'm speaking to him, he cannot concentrate on the game anymore. You see, he will have to listen to me. Even if I stop, then he can play again. That's another problem. But he will the time I'm speaking to him, that he will have to listen to me. And this is how jinns are. When you speak to them, they will come and listen. They will have to come and listen. They will hook. Okay? So you say that, come here, I want to speak to you, and then you read, وَمِنْ آيَاتِهِ أَنْ خَلَقَ لَكُمْ مِنْ أَنفُسِكُمْ أَزْوَاجًا لِتَسْكُنُوا إِلَيْهَا. That is Surah Rum. Rum, verse 21. Okay? Saying, amongst his signs, he has created for you wives or husbands from your own self, to find sakina and love and mercy with them. So this is the verse that shows that every species should marry his own species. So no way a jinn should marry a woman, or a man should marry a female jinn. So when you read that onto the jinn, he will understand that it cannot work between men and jinn, and that Allah has given him female jinns to be happy and to have love and mercy with them, and he will go with his own wives and he will leave you. You see? So you read that about 30 times, and then you tell him, now if I see you again in my dream, I'm going to kill you. And you go to sleep like that, inshallah your problem will be finished. So this is the fifth way of beating jinns. It's the mental way. And well, in whatever situation, you can do it, mentally speak to it. If you are feeling the jinns interfering in your life, you can mentally speak to them and make them embrace Islam. So if you do that, just use verses of Quran. Don't speak too much, because they're not so intelligent, but read verses of Quran, and that will affect their bodies until they become Muslim. Okay, now I'm going to say a last thing before I finish, and we'll leave questions. I'm going to tell you a bit about shirk. And actually, I'm just going to tell you about ta'weez. Ta'weez amulets that you attach. So these ta'weez actually are all over the Muslim world nearly. In Arab countries, you call them kitab or hijab. In African countries, girigiri. In Nigeria, you call it juju. In Comoran Islands, you call it hiriz. And in Indian culture, you call it ta'weez. Okay? So, Rasulullah has forbid tama'im, which is things that are hanged or kept for protection. Now, it is shirk. Now, from this being forbidden, some ulama of Shafi'i and Hanafi have authorized tama'im that only have dua and Quran. They have authorized that the thing you say, you can write it down and keep it on you. Some ulama of Hanafi and Shafi'i. But no one has authorized anything else. Funny names or funny signs or squares with numbers, etc. That is not authorized by anyone. Most of the time, when we open these ta'weez, because we tell people to remove them, so most of the time when we open them, we find these things. We find words like, for example, Ilahi, Bihurmati, Yamliha, Maksalima, Kashfutat, Fatyanus, etc. وَكَلْبِهِمْ قَتْمِيرٌ. Oh my God, I ask you by the value of Yamliha, Maksalima, Kashfutat, this and that, and their dog Qatmir. And they say it is the people of the grave, the 7 boys in the grave and their dog. And how could you know it is the people of the grave? And even if it was the people of the grave, so what is the point asking Allah Ta'ala by the value of Yamliha, Maksalima, Kashfuta, this and that, when we don't even say, Ya Allah, I ask you by the value of Muhammad and Nuh and Ibrahim and Musa and Isa, why go see those people? And asking Allah by the value of their dog. How can you say, Ya Allah, protect me by the value of this dog that has died a couple of thousand years ago? Does this make any sense? That does not make any sense. And actually, it's not the names of the people of Kahf, it is all names of shayateen. It is all names of devils. And you see how men, how jinn and shayateen work on men. And it is ulama, it is maulanas writing these things. Subhanallah, it's really terrible. May Allah Ta'ala protect us. And in many ta'weez you find Ya Badduh, Badduh, and you find it in the books, this Badduh, and they say it is name of Allah in Aramean language, but actually it is jinns, and we call it Badduh jinns and all these kinds of jinns. And then you have these squares with numbers. And I must tell you, these number squares, it is all shirk. And the people who are making these squares, they say it is the names of Allah and the verses of Quran, and they put it in numbers so that when you go to the toilet, you don't take the Quran in the toilet. And that's completely wrong, because in the same paper you have the verses of Quran, and then after that you have these numbers with squares. So there's nothing to do with the toilet with that. And how do they turn the words of Allah into numbers? Well, Arabs in the old days did not have numbers, so they used letters for numbers. As the alphabet, Alif is 1, Ba is 2, Jim is 3, Dal is 4, Ha is 5, and goes on 10, 20, 30, 100, 200, 300. So if you take Allah, Alif is 1, Lam is 30, Lam is 30, Ha is 5. That makes 66. Okay? So could you replace Allah by 66? Can you say 66 help me, 66 guide me, 66 protect me? And if you take a sheet of paper and you fill it with 66 from beginning to end, will that give you any kind of protection? If you hang that on your wall, in your car, will that do anything? Nothing, absolutely nothing. And for example, they say that Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim is 786. Well, I didn't check it out. But if it was, can you eat or drink, say 786, and then you drink or eat? Or before going to the toilet, say 786, and then you go to the toilet. It has absolutely no meaning. It is absolutely meaningless. Nothing to do with Quran and nothing to do with the words of Allah Ta'ala. And one time we got a jinn with someone, and I said, what's your name? He said, I'm the 66. You see? Because if 1 plus 30 plus 30 plus 5 gives you 66, so how many other words will give you 66? Plenty, tens of words will give you 66, isn't it? So you don't know you're writing Allah's name or Iblis's name or whoever's name. Absolutely no idea. And all these people making ta'weez, you know, brothers and sisters, actually I'm very happy that I'm here in front of you saying this, because when I said that in other places, they forbid me from speaking in any mosques. You see, it was terrible, because it is big ulama that have taught that have wrote those books, and there's nothing I can do about it, because it is shirk. And subhanallah, I remember once, and it was really, I'm sorry I didn't film it, but we can't always film things. But once we were with the patients, and one lady, she had ta'weezes that she had put on her children, and we brought the jinns with that ta'weez. And I'm asking him, what are you doing with the children? He said, I'm here to protect them. And I said, well, do you protect them? They said, no, I don't protect them. I said, what do you do? I said, I'm just taking their health and making fun with them. I said, okay, what's your relation with Iblis? He said, that's my father. You see? And the mother was here and she was crying. How she put shayateen on the neck of her children. Subhanallah. And it is ulama, maulanas, that give her that stuff. And that shaitan started making fun of us. He started making fun of us, and I let him speak to say everything. He said, you are Muslims making shirk. I mean, imagine how shayateen laugh about it. Look at them, they're praying and they're making shirk. Shayateen are just crazy of laughing at us. Look at them, making hajj, making sadaqat, and they're making shirk. And they're having this badduh on their neck and this thing and this thing. They're all into shirk. They lost their tawheed. What is that prayer worth? That Ramzan worth? Everything. He was laughing at us. Absolutely. I just let him speak so that everybody will understand what it is about. So really, I mean, and we asked all those Maulanas, because there was one Maulana, he was making ta'weez and he was trying to defend the point of view of ta'weez. And I told him, just tell us, what does this square mean? What does these lines mean and these numbers inside? He said, no, that is a secret. What secret? If it is something that is good for people, show us what it is. And I pushed him so far that he said, no, if we say what it is, some people can use it to make sihr. I said, yes, that is the correct answer, because it is sihr. That's it. Because it is sihr. Because, I mean, none of those who wrote the books of ta'weez explain what it is about. And none of those who are doing it can explain what it is about. But when you take the jinns and we ask them, what are these squares about? They would say, these lines are the lines of your life. That is your life, that is your health, that is your wealth, that is your children, that is your marriage. And this is what we are supposed to do. To spoil your life, to spoil your wealth, to spoil this and that. You see? And that exactly is the order given to jinns to harm the person. It is exactly the sihr itself. You see? It is exactly the sihr. And there is no other explanation to it. So I just wanted to explain more about this so things are clear in all of your minds. Allah Ta'ala make it easy. So I'll stop here, inshallah. As I say, if you want to just treat yourself, I think it is enough what you have got today. And you're going to get the paper with these 45 types of sorceries and the ways to recognize them and the verses of them. You'll get a few more verses and explanation in those papers. And if you want to learn more, you can come to our center. And now look, in the questions, I would like that you don't ask questions on personal issues. Only if something you don't understand or want to understand more, that can be beneficial for everyone. But on personal issues, if you have blockages in your life, if you have unusual health problems, if you have unusual mental states, and if you are having nightmares, that means you have jinn or sihr or ayn problems. Either you treat yourself by how I showed, otherwise you can come and learn more how to treat yourself, or you can come and we will treat you. And that's our job. We're treating people. Well, training is free, alhamdulillah. We want to spread this knowledge as much as possible, but treatment is charging, and it's charging £50 for full treatment. If someone does not have, we'll treat him anyhow, but that's what we're working on, that's what we're living on and moving and creating these centers and doing everything with. So that's how, so please don't tell me, yes, I have headache and the doctors didn't find anything, what can I do about it, and my son is this and that. No, don't tell me that. It's all those symptoms, so you can, alhamdulillah. So to finish, in our group, because it is a group of Ruqya, we have five objectives. We have 5 objectives. First objective is to help the people that are stuck and suffering in their lives, because there are 2 parts in this. There's the suffering and there's being stuck in your life, not being able to get married, to have children, etc. And second objective is to save Muslims' iman from shirk. And third objective, it is a da'wah to non-Muslims, because we can treat non-Muslims with ruqya, and alhamdulillah, that will be a cause, so they will know about Islam. And fourth objective is to fight sihr and shirk until it is finished. And fifth objective is to break the business of ruqya, because some people are making ruqya for lots of money and not showing, not training anyone and keeping it as a business. So we are breaking, inshallah, that business by showing everything to anyone. So anyone can do it and no one can keep it secret for himself. Okay, do you have any questions? How can you identify if you are suffering from jinn possession, sihr ayn, or truly have a mental health problem? So, concerning mental health problem, that occurs when someone has been suffering in his life. For example, if a dog will bite you, then you're afraid of dogs. If you have a car accident, then you're afraid of speed. Something happened to you by night, now you're afraid from dark, etc. So that's how mental problems can occur. But if nothing happened to you and suddenly you are depressed and you're thinking of suicide and you don't like your husband anymore, so this is not a mental problem. This is jinn and sihr related. Unfortunately, we have Islamic scholars who have mastered the field of Islamic knowledge but are limited when it comes to understanding mental health problems, yes, and vice versa. So we also practice and teach psychotherapy. Inshallah, it's very efficient and very simple. And there was a good course on Sunday. I think the people who were here, many liked it. So you can come and really learn lots about it. Also, identifying whether one is possessed by jinn, sihr, ayn is falsifiable, sadly. Well, anyway, I am sticking onto these 4 symptoms, and that gives you a good idea if you have a jinn or sihr or ayn problem. Any other questions?
Sorry,
yes?
You said if you are possessed, you call the jinn and then you reach to a room. And then you tell him to go away, or otherwise you're going to kill him.
Yeah.
Can you do it for someone else?
You can do it for someone else, but it's not so efficient, because when the jinn comes into your life, that is how you get access to him. That's giving you access to him. He's coming in your dream. So before sleeping, you say, hey, you who comes in my dream, come here. There is a link between you and him, you see? But if it's someone else, there's no link. So mentally, the fact that you call him, he comes, it's not sure that he will hear you, that there's a link between you. And he might not come, it might not lead to anything. But you can try.
And if he does come, then when he speaks, am I going to...
No, you're not going to hear anything. It's only you speaking. Like you speaking alone. You're not hearing anything, but you're speaking to him. You're not going to hear him speak or do anything.
Then how do I know he's there?
If you have the jinn problem, you will have to come. This is why I'm telling you.
Okay.
You see?
Yeah.
Yes? Go ahead.
When you speak to them, can you see them?
Talking about me or anyone? No, I don't see them, no. Yeah.
I hear them, what they say.
No, you don't hear them. When we only speak to them through the people that are possessed.
Yeah. How you said Hanafi and Shafi, they said that it's permissible. Does that make it permissible? Because obviously you said it's shirk. So no.
They said it is only what you are allowed to read. You can write that same thing and put it on you. But what the ta'weez we take of people nearly always has other things. We hardly ever find ta'weez that only has Fatiha or Kursi, something like that. Mostly that you get other words, jinn words, and signs, symbols like P and other stars and other symbols, and you get these squares with numbers and names, etc. But now, if someone is only wearing something that only has Quran or Dua, we cannot say it's shirk, because some scholars say it's not shirk, it's allowed. Yeah?
Can a jinn come up to you in human form and talk to you?
Yeah, it's possible, as it happened to Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu. Yes? Okay. If someone has sihr on them, but they deny to accept this, can I do the treatment without them knowing? Not really, because the treatment needs to wash and drink sana and make a cupping and all that. So you can't do it without them knowing. The only thing you can do is read Quran on the water, on the food they are taking, on their products like creams for body, like shampoo, this and that will have some effect on them, light effect. And you can also ask Allah Ta'ala to catch their jinns in your dream. Now, if you see the person in your dream, you can catch him and read Fatiha on him, and that will cure him. Inshallah, that will cure him. But basically, the person has to accept to get treatment, so that we treat him. How does a raqi know how long a jinn has been with a person? Well, we don't need to know how long he has stayed. But if we want to know how long, we'll ask the person, when did his problem start? So when the problem started, we'll say that's when the jinn got there. How does a raqi know these certain details? Well, if the raqi gets those details, well, it could be through kashf. That means he's asking Allah to show him, and Allah will show him things. That is possible because Allah Ta'ala says in Hadith Qudusi, if I love him, I become his eyes by which he sees and his ears by which he hears, etc. Or it could be through jinns that come to show him these things. When you have made dua to Allah for the jinn or sorcerer to come in your dream, what happens if the jinn or sorcerer is stronger than you and is trying to kill you? Nothing will happen, and he cannot be stronger than you. I am telling you, he cannot be stronger than you because it is only a psychological power between you and him. And the fact that you are willing to kill him, that makes him weaker than you. So he's weaker than you anyway. Well, I'm just going to give you an example. How I first started making ruqya, in those days, I heard some stories of people suffering of jinns and that, and it got me annoyed. I was angry about it, and I said, well, if I happen to catch a jinn like that, I would just kill him. I'll not even discuss with him. And I got angry like that. And that night I slept, and a jinn came to attack me. And he was like King Kong. He was walking in the middle of the buildings. You see, he was so huge. And when I saw him, say, yes, that's one. I'm going to start by this one. And he threw his hands to hit me, and I caught his hands like this with my two hands and said, that's it, I got him. And I started reading Ayat al-Kursi, and he shrank into a big man. And I kept on reading Ayat al-Kursi, and he became an old man, starting to die. And I said, I'm not leaving him until the end. I continued and I woke up. That means he just got away at the last second. So this is it. It's just mental that you even if you're afraid of him, just say Bismillah, 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 and he's going to shrink and he's going to run away. So you see that he can't do anything anyway. If you have ta'weez with just Quranic verses, is it allowed to wear? It is allowed to wear, but really, I will encourage you not to wear it, even if it is just Quran, for many reasons. First of all, it will not protect you, even if it is Quran. You can just carry a mushaf, just carry a full Quran, and that's not protecting you from jinn and from sihr and from ayn. Unless if you really want to do it, write it to yourself and wear it for yourself. So now you know there's nothing behind it. If you know of someone who has been fallen into shirk, is there any verse, dua one can make for them? No, they must make tawbah. There's no dua you can do for them. You must explain to him and convince him to stop. There's no dua that can help him out if someone's doing shirk. Is there such thing as jinn's language? Yes, there are. Well, there is jinn language, and sometimes we get jinns and they speak their language. It's like barking. There is, but when jinns come into people, they speak the people's language. If so, can you speak it to communicate with jinns? I never tried to learn jinns' language, but they speak through human languages, and that's how we communicate with them. For if someone has given you ta'weez, how do you get rid of it to destroy it? So you read Quran in water, put it in Quranic water for 20 minutes, then you can throw it away or burn it. Can you tell us more about learning about ruqya at your clinic? How do you teach method, ladies? So we always have ladies with us because we need to make hijama on women. So the minimum is that we have to have ladies to make hijama on women. So there are always ladies. But teaching, I mean, if you come, the teaching will be more practical than theoretic. It will be more practical, and you will be doing and learning and practicing until you learn all. Now for women, you can stop on being a ruqya helper. That means you're working with men or group that is making ruqya, and you're making hijama to ladies, explaining them treatment, giving them advice, making them dawah, this and that, washing the things and everything, and not properly making the ruqya. And that's mostly women do that, and slowly by slowly get into doing the other things, reading the ruqya on the ladies, making the diagnostic, and then leading the jinn catching that you will see inshallah later. So usually that's how it happens. But if a woman wants to learn immediately everything, no problem. So you can come anytime, the time you can come. And our purpose is to make many centers. So as soon as this center we have is strong enough, having enough people working there, and having also enough patients coming, so we will think of what other areas need ruqya centers to send some people there, what other cities want ruqya centers. Inshallah, that's our purpose. Jazakallah khair. Okay, any more questions? Yeah.
In Bangladesh, often when there's evil eye, you have these elderly women who read Quran, but they do other things. So like they will put oil on your stomach or rub a nest on your thing, and they're reading verses of the Quran. Is that not a kind of Sahih treatment? It's considered wrong because they, like, say you've got your guy, they'll read on water, but they might do something else and chuck something in the fire and see if it's going to, etc. When they do things like that, is that from any sunnah, any tradition, or is that something that you should stay away from?
So actually in ruqya, everything is allowed except what is shirk and what is haram. Because when Rasulullah arrived to Medina, some people came to him and told him that we were making ruqya before Islam, can we continue? And he said, recite me your ruqyas, there's no harm in doing it as long as you don't do shirk. So Rasulullah allowed everything that was being practiced before Islam and that has nothing to do with Islam as long as there is no shirk inside. So that is so you can see strange things and strange ways of treatment, but as long as you don't see anything that is properly shirk, you cannot condemn it. And if it works, well, very good, jolly good. But the better is to try to stick as much as possible on Quran and leave other methods. But it is allowed, yes? So there are 4 things that are shirk. Sacrifices for jinn, using jinn names, wearing rings or bracelets for protection or luck, and ta'weez.
And so if someone, like, if they just hold your hand, but you don't know what they recite, they're just reciting it, and they're saying they're doing treatment, how can you differentiate if they're using the jinn to do it, or how do you...
So if the person is trying to hide the things he is reciting, you'd better leave it, because you don't know. And if it is correct dua or Quran, so why should he be hiding it? You see, so that is suspicious. Better leave it. We have destroyed the ta'weez that were given to us, but we just burned them all, and when he threw the ashes away. Was that okay? Yeah, that's okay. That's okay. Anyway, what is wrong when you are keeping them things, but do and all that stuff on you, so that's keeping jinns on you. Now you threw it away, it's gone. So if you feel something's wrong, just make water and wash with the water. It's going to be alright, inshallah. Yeah, we should be ending because we have to pray, don't we? Oh, yes, we do.
That of the water is said 11 times. What about if woman is having their period and can't complete? Is it straightforward?
As I am concerned, just continue doing everything, even if you have your periods. Does not change anything. Yes? Yes?
Can black magic or jinn be sent to give you dreams amongst family members to cause confusion?
It can. It can. Sometimes they do sihr, and they do another sihr to make you think it is someone else who did the sihr. And that will make you dream on it. Yes?
Is there any ayah or surah in the Quran for children?
For?
That you read for protection for the children.
Protection for children.
Protection for children? Yes, it is. Read it and wipe on them with it.
Is it recommended to read it every day on children?
Oh yes, it is recommended for any people who cannot do it himself. Even Rasulullah said when he was ill, Aisha was doing it for him.
Yes?
If you're doing ruqya on someone and you manage to kill the jinn that is harming the person,
Okay.
does the Sihr find out that you've killed the jinn and they keep sending him?
Well, he can. If he is going to look, he can find. And if there's no follow-up with the sihr, so he won't know. So maybe 20% of sihr has follow-up. So the sihr is going to see if it's going, not going. I mean, you get the jinns with the people, and you get other jinns checking out, spying. So they're just for information. So they'll go and tell what's happened. And sometimes there isn't any. Yeah.
If you obviously ruqya can let you know like if there is sihr or not basically, but if you do find that this person is possessed or black magic and the ruqya cures it, does the person who sent it, do they have to send another one for you to get possessed again, or can that same one still be like looking about?
No, once the sihr is destroyed, the sihr cannot come again. But what happens if you remove the jinn, you chase the jinn away, and you don't remove the sihr, so now the same sihr is going to attract that jinn back, or attract other jinns, as long as the same sihr is there.
How would you know if there is a sihr or not though?
Most of the time jinns come by sihr, most of the time.
But what, like you said, they don't really tell the truth, or they don't talk, do they?
No, you don't need to speak with the jinns to know what's going on. You just recognize it with the symptoms, and you treat it with the symptoms.
Refer to as like a knot or a
that's
or
it.
Like that. So
Yeah.
how do you know if that's there or not?
Well, there is these 45 symbolic one. If it's in the body, it's giving pains.
Yeah.
If it's in the stomach, it's giving pains. Now, if it is outside the body, it will be making dreams or problems in one's life, etc. So you have to know how to decode them and to what verses to use. And this is the papers we are meant to distribute to you by now. Yes? Someone's spirit. I mean, someone absent.
Yeah, so say, for example, I say, oh, I can speak to so-and-so spirit. If I sit here, I can call the spirit and speak to him.
Well, really, I mean, Allah Ta'ala is almighty, but I never heard of that before. That I'm sitting here and I'm speaking with the spirit of my ustaz that is in Deoband, or I'm speaking with the spirit of such person that is already dead. I never heard of that before. Yes?
Is it true that you shouldn't, when you sleep in the mosque, you shouldn't sleep in the first 3 rows? Because apparently that's where they pray at night.
Say again?
You know what sometimes...
If you make i'tikaf, you shouldn't sleep in the first 3 rows.
Yeah.
Well, it's not a question of 3 rows for jinns, but actually if jinns, they will tend to pray in the imam, behind the imam place. Yes, well, try not to occupy that place. You could disturb jinns, especially if you're making janaba in your dream, or if you're making gases and they're praying there, so really that can annoy them, and something might happen to you. Best sleep in the back or in the second room, it will be even better. Yes?
If someone is possessed and they don't want to go and see someone to take it out, if they stay in wudu as long as they remember and do the 5 times prayers, will that be enough for them to combat the jinn?
No, it won't be enough at all to keep wudu and pray to fight the jinns.
Are you saying you're stronger than the jinn? So
yes, you are stronger, but it's like you're stronger than microbes, but you still have to take some cautions for microbes. So if you are going to fight other people's jinns, you will have to wash yourself with the Quranic water all the time. That will be the best thing. And especially you must not do sins, because that will get you to be weak in front of them. I'll take this last question. My phone number, you have it all in these green papers. It is the phone number of the center, and my email is there. So I'm always moving around the board. So on my website, you always find my contact wherever I am, inshallah. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين.